I'm using a size 12 3 extra long dry fly hook. I think it'll show up pretty well and we can really work out the proportions on this. I'm going to come in with some orange thread and wind it back to the point of the hook, and then move my thread forward so it hangs about halfway between the point of the hook and the front of the eye. Now my take on this is, if we're going to move one way or the other on this, that we go towards the eye just a little bit on the wing. This is the position where our wing is going to be mounted each time. Now some of you have not tried this type of wing before. Rather to jump right in with the hair, take a turkey flat. These are readily available, they're inexpensive, and just get one that's pretty even across the tip like this. Then any of the fluffy stuff, wherever it starts in here and it's fluffy, just rip it off the side of the quill and take off both sides. Most of the time these feathers are relatively even as far as where the material is. This one wasn't exactly the same. And then what I want you to do is stroke out the tip of the feather like this, so that it's the length of, say, the back of the eye to where the tail would be tied in, the hook shank length, something like that. Just get rid of that. Then stroke forward a certain bulk of material. Now with hair we're going to have quite a bit of material oftentimes, so start with a modest amount and maybe try this 2 or 3 times. This is going to mimic the hair that we'll use. And just stroke these fibers back, stroke them forward like this, and then grasp along the edges of the feather. Measure so that the tips are right behind the eye of the hook, and then where the barb was, put your thumbnail about there. That's the length of the wing on the fly like this. Move the thumbnail to where the thread is and tie the material in. Then move your thread back. The reason we do this is if we move the thread forward, we change the position of the wing and we change the length of the wing. We've established our spot here where we want the material to be. Then clip out the excess. You can prepare this feather for another fly, even stroke it the same amount of material forward, and then it's ready the next time we pick it up. Alright, once this is tied in, we're mostly going to wrap the butts of it down, and this would make a fine fly. Also, if you decided to use turkey flats like this, and if you decided to use turkey flats for a fly, that'd be fine. Now as we come forward with our thread, we don't want to go in front of the position where we tied the wing in. Whether it's hair or turkey flats, we're going to stroke the fibers back, come in with our thumbnail and crimp it. That'll help the material to stand up. Then we take a few wraps in front. See, I move the thread forward and make like a little ramp in here. Push the thread back on the material. That'll stand it up. Now we have a wad of material. In this case it kind of splits for us, but this is the way that we're going to split this. We take the material and get an even amount on both sides, close enough. We're not going to count fibers or anything like that. Then our thread goes in front of the clump nearest us, behind the clump on the other side between the wings, then behind the wing nearest us, and in front. This is a figure 8. Let's do that again. We're going to come in front and behind, under the hook, behind and in front, and then around the hook shank, not catching any of the fibers. And what that does is it splits our wing. It's called a figure 8. We need to use as many turns as we need just to split the wing, because that's all that's going to do. The next thing we do, I like to make a wrap or two of thread behind the wing, is we're going to bunch the far wing. So I come under that wing along the plane that's parallel to the hook shank, around the wing like so. And we do this from the bottom up, and usually I have to grasp this wing to do this. Now once we're done with that, we come underneath, in front, and then again a couple wraps behind. And we do the same thing on the wing nearest to us. We come underneath the wing to the back. The tendency of the material is going to go forward, so we're pulling the material back with our thread. And you can see I'm not trying to move the wing. We can move it around with our thread like this, but we're really not trying to do that. All we're trying to do is bunch it. Then with this one, when we're done, we go behind the wing on the other side, make a couple wraps behind and front if we want, and what we have is a pair of wings. If they're at a 90-degree angle, I suppose, a 45-degree angle to the hook, something like that, that should be about right. It's a matter of taste. I usually push this back. Some people put a drop of head cement in there. I don't care to do that. Particularly, the hackle will hold the wing in place, and then our wing is complete. So this is the method we're going to use, and I would say try this 6 times with whatever size hook you're going to use to get the wing in the proper position. Try tying this 6 times. When you're done with number 1, because the hooks are the most expensive, the turkey flats are cheap, just come in with some kind of a cutting tool, a razor blade or something like that. Don't cut your fingers off. Cut the material off the hook like so. Then we'll have the hook. My hook moved in my vise, which is okay with me. I don't like to get it too tight because it'll crush it. And then we have our hook ready to go. Do it 6 times. Get the feel for it. If you have it after 3 or 4 times, that's great. Then move on to using the hair.